To expose the forearm volar aspect, make two circumferential skin incisions, one around the elbow joint and another incision around the carpal joint. These two incisions are connected by a vertical incision corresponding to the dorsomedian line of the forearm. Reflect the skin flap towards the medial aspect. Now the medial and volar aspect of the forearm is exposed. This is pronata teres. It is a small vestigial muscle situated along the medial face of the elbow joint. It originates from the medial epicondyle of the humerus and is inserted to the medial border of the radius. This is flexor carpi radialis, situated behind the pronata teres. It originates from the medial epicondyle of the humerus. The belly is continued by a narrow tendon which passes down the carpus to be inserted to the large metacarpal bone. This broad muscle is flexor carpi ulnaris, which has two heads of origin, and this is the ulnar head from the olecranon process of the ulna. This is the humeral head arising from the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Between these two heads, the ulnar nerve and collateral ulnar artery passes down on the deep face of the muscle. Its narrow tendon is inserted to the accessory carpal bone. This is the ulnar head of deep digital flexor arising from the olecranon process of ulna. This is a small conical muscle situated between the ulnarus lateralis and the flexor carpi ulnaris. It is succeeded by a tendon that passes down carpal canal. This is ulnarus lateralis, situated on the lateral face of a radius behind the lateral digital extensor. It is succeeded by a short, thick tendon and inserted to the small metacarpal bone. The tendon of flexor carpi ulnaris is cut and reflected upwards. This muscle is the superficial digital flexor. It originates from the medial epicondyle of the humerus. The muscular belly divides into superficial and deep parts in the lower third of the forearm, which are continued by tendons. These are the tendons of two parts of the superficial flexor on the metacarpus. In the lower part of the metacarpus, both the tendons joined together form a common tendon which divides into two above the fetless joint. Each is inserted to the volar face of second phalanges. Cut the superficial digital flexor and reflect the muscle upwards. This is the humeral head of deep digital flexor. These are two in number arising from the medial epicondyle of the humerus. This is the branch of median nerve and artery on the deep face of superficial digital flexor. Cut the belly of humeral head in its lower third and reflect the muscle on either side. This exposes the radial head which is the smallest of the three heads. This is the tendon of radial head which descends down the carpal canal. is the ulnar head of deep digital flexor arising from the olecranon process of ulna. All the three tendons join together to form a common tendon just above the carpus. The common tendon passes downward. Above the fetlock, it divides into two divisions which pass through the two rings formed between the superficial digital flexor and superficial part of the suspensory ligament. The tendon finally gets inserted to the volar face of third phalanges. Cut and reflect the deep layer of flexors. The median artery, median nerve and median vein are exposed. This is the median nerve. After giving muscular branches to flexor muscles, it passes down the metacarpus and divides above the fetlock into medial and lateral branches. This is the medial branch which again divides into medial and lateral divisions. The medial division supplies the medial rudimentary digit and passes down the volar face as the medial volar abaxial digital nerve. This is the lateral branch which also divides into medial and lateral branches. The medial division unites with the lateral division of medial branch to form the volar common digital nerve. The lateral division unites with the deep branch of ulnar nerve to form the lateral volar abaxial digital nerve. This red-colored structure is the median artery placed deeper to the median nerve. It supplies muscular branches to all the flexors except ulnaris lateralis. This is the common interosseous artery arising from the median artery which passes through the proximal radioulnar arch and descends in the radioulnar groove under the periosteum as dorsal interosseous artery. Then the median artery passes down in the forearm and divides into two terminal branches, radial and ulnar artery. This larger branch is the ulnar artery and the smaller one is the radial artery. This blue-colored structure is the median vein accompanying the median artery. It passes upwards and joins with the brachial vein. This is the ulnar artery which is one of the terminal branch of median artery. It passes down between the flexor muscles on the volar aspect of the metacarpus along with the median nerve as volar superficial large metacarpal artery. Then it enters the interdigital space as volar common digital artery. This is the radial artery arising from the median artery at the lower third of the forearm. It passes down along the medial border of the metacarpus as medial volar abaxial digital artery. This is the tendon of superficial digital flexor muscle. Cut this tendon and reflect it downwards to expose the common tendon of deep digital flexor. This is the tendon of the deep digital flexor. Cut the tendon of superficial and deep digital flexor. This is the superficial fibrous part of the suspensory ligament on the volar aspect of the metacarpus. Above the fetlock, It divides into two divisions and are inserted to the volar face of second phalanges. Cut and reflect the superficial part downward. This is the deep muscular part of the suspensory ligament. This divides into 6 slits which are in 3 pairs. These two are the abaxial slits. These two are the middle slits. And these are the axial slits. The abaxial slip is attached to the abaxial sesamoid. The middle slits are attached to the axial sesamoids. These two axial slits enters the interdigital space and joins with the tendon of common digital extensor.